Sugriva's conjecture was like nectar to Ram's ears. They eagerly awaited the arrival of the Banners. In a short while, a great clamor was in the air, and the Banner hordes alighted with cries of triumph. Hanuman and Angad, leading the Banners, marched to the presence of their king, who with Ram and Lakshman was awaiting their coming. Hanuman bowed and said, "I have seen the goddess of purity, your queen. She is safe and well in Lanka. I salute her from here across space." And he turned southwards and offered worshipful salutation. Thus succinctly did Hanuman convey to the prince the glad news that Sita was found and was well in body and mind. Sugriva and Lakshman, beside themselves with joy, embraced Ram. "Dear Vanar friends," exclaimed the Prince of Ayodhya, "tell me exactly where Sita is, and how is she? How did you manage to see her? Tell me everything in detail." His eager inquiries came quick one upon the other. The other Vanaras turned to Hanuman, who stood behind, and asked him to narrate all that he had seen and done. Hanuman began to tell the tale. With his unrivaled courage and strength, and single-handed, he had performed a mighty task. And yet he did not push himself forward into the presence of Prince Ram or King Sugriva, but gave prominence to Angad, the aged Jambavan, and the others, and was silent until they asked him to speak. "Crossing the 900 miles of water, I reached the city of the wicked Ravan on the southern shore. There, in a park attached to the palace, I saw Sita being held prisoner and closely guarded. It was wonderful to see her emaciated form. She maintained her life only in the thought of her Lord and the repetition of his name. Cruel and ugly Rakshasis surrounded her. I saw her lying on the ground, her hair unkempt, and her face clouded by sorrow and anxiety. When I reached there, she had resolved to put an end to her life, to escape from the Rakshasa king's demands and threats. I began uttering praises of your glory in a low voice. Unknown to her, and a mere monkey, I had to secure her confidence first. Then I spoke to her. I told her of the alliance between King Sugriva and yourself. I told her of your great grief and unchanging love. Oh, this filled her with sweet sorrow, and awakened hope in her and the desire to live. Asked for a token which I might convey to you, the angel of purity gave me this jewel to be given to you. She also told me how a crow had once troubled her while you were asleep, and how you were grieved about it. She asked me to remind you of the incident. She wanted me to remind you of another occasion when, roaming among the hills, perspiration had made her tilak trickle down her forehead, and you replaced it with red ochre rubbed out of a rock. She asked me to tell you that she would struggle and keep alive for a month, but then she would perish at the hands of Ravan, or she would seek her own release of death. She asked me to convey her respects to the Vanar king. Now let us think, and make preparations at once for proceeding to Lanka to redeem the princess." Saying this, he handed the crest jewel of Sita to the prince. Ram took the jewel from Hanuman's hand, and at the sight of it fainted, racked beyond bearing between the extremes of joy and grief. Awakening, he pressed the jewel to his chest and cried, "O Lakshman!" Again he embraced Hanuman and said, "Heroic son of Vayu, blessed are you who have seen Sita. Oh, I too see her before me now. You have indeed brought her to me. Oh, hero, my heart's friend, tell me everything again in full. Tell me once again what Sita said. Oh, let me hear her words, which are sweet like water to parched lips." Hanuman narrated the whole story to the eager listeners, and Ram wept when Hanuman repeated these words of Sita. "Many Rakshasas has my Ram slain, but why has he not come here yet to slay Ravan and save me from my sufferings? Why has he not sent brave Lakshman to slay the wretch? It cannot be that my lord has grown indifferent towards me, for I know of no wrong I have ever committed in thought or word or deed to lose his love." Then Hanuman said, "I tried to console her, saying, 'Ram is ever thinking of you and grieving for you. He knows no rest, so do not imagine that Ram and Lakshman have forgotten you. No words of mine could describe their grief. Now that I am going to tell them you are here, it will not be long before they come and destroy Ravan and return with you in triumph to Ayodhya.'" It was then that she untied the jewel from a knot in a corner of her sari and gave it to me. I placed it on my head in reverence, and securing it, started to return. Then she stopped me and uttered a benediction again, saying, "Friend Hanuman, convey the news of my welfare to the lions, my lord and his brother, and to Sugriv and his ministers. Oh, devise your plans and help him come here to redeem me. I trust in you, Hanuman, absolutely. May God bless you." Hanuman gazed at Ram. "Lay aside your grief, my lord, and figure out now what has to be done." Sita doubted how you and the Vanar army could cross the sea. I assured her that she need have no fear or doubt on that score, since, by no means the strongest among the Vanars, I myself crossed it, as she could see. I said to her that I myself could carry Ram and Lakshman on my shoulders and cross the sea and bring them there.